Hello, welcome to the Lisa Love Stitch and Flosstube channel. My name's Lisa, and if you're a returning viewer, I'd like to say thanks for coming back. If you're a subscriber, even better. Not that it matters really. And if you're a new viewer, welcome, and hopefully you'll want to come back again next video. So I'm coming to you from Brisbane. It's about 33 degrees today. It was a top of 35, and it's quite humid now, and there's an impending storm. So I'm not sure if we'll actually get the storm or if it'll come tomorrow, and maybe you'll get a glimpse in a second of Brian the butcher bird, who has just come over there to the side of the balcony. He's thinking I've got some mince or something for him, but I don't, so he's going to be disappointed. So let's get into it. So I've made some notes, so hopefully I don't forget anything. I've had some new subscribers recently, so that's awesome. And if you're new to this channel, it's about cross stitch, a little bit about knitting and sewing as and when it arises, but mainly just cross stitch, and a little bit about my life. So here comes Brian. You coming? Come on. Come on. Pretend I've got something. No? Alright, he's going to be shy. So I'm on my balcony, and we're on the north side of Brisbane in Queensland, Australia, and behind me there are the hills that we look onto, and we're about the highest house in our street, so we get all the awesome views. We only moved here recently in the last couple of months. We bought the house in August, and since then we've really enjoyed living here. We have lots of native wildlife visit us in our garden. At the moment we have Barry the brush turkey, who is building a mound, which is a nest, in our front yard on the left hand side of the driveway. He's also tried to make another mound in the backyard on the lawn. However, I changed his mind about that. So we said he's allowed to have one mound in our yard, but other than that he can't be greedy. So what brush turkeys do is they get all the leaf matter in your yard, or the mulch, and they move it from one side of the yard to the other by flicking it with their claws. So they just scratch behind them, scratch, 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 and they make a right mess because it goes right over your driveway, and most people get really annoyed with them. I don't mind Barry. I think he's quite cute, and he taps on the back door for some seed, and the males make the mounds, and they usually make 2 or 3 mounds, and then they show the ladies their nests, and then the ladies will decide if they want to lay some eggs in there, and then it's Barry's job from then on. So the lady just lays the eggs and then she leaves, and Barry is left to monitor the nest and look after the eggs, and he removes or adds on more mulch as and when the temperature needs changing. So he sticks his head in the middle of the mound to test the temperature, and then he will adjust it accordingly, so to make sure that the eggs stay at the optimal temperature. And then when the babies are born, like when they hatch, they're instantly independent. They do not require feeding from the parents or anything. They are immediately independent and able to fend for themselves. So I think that's pretty cool. They are protected here, even though Wayne keeps threatening to put Barry on the plate for Christmas dinner. They are protected, and you're not allowed to destroy their mounds once they have eggs in them. Who else do we have visit? We have Clary and Kenny Cockatoo come to visit us, and they have a nest in the gum tree up the back, just outside our back fence, and one of them left us a lovely tail feather the other day on the back wall, stone wall. Isn't it beautiful? See the beautiful pale lemony yellow, and yeah, just really, really pretty. and it's amazing when you wave it inside. You can feel how good it works with the breeze that it creates, like a mini fan. So anyway, so that was quite lucky to get that. And what else? We did have Cyril the snake and Samantha his girlfriend. However, we haven't seen them since September, so not sure if they're around anymore or if they've moved on to greener pastures. And that's good for Barry because we wouldn't want the snake eating his eggs. We have the butcher birds, and we have the crows and some crested pigeons. They have like little mohawks on the top of their head. They're quite cute. They come to the backyard. We have koalas in the trees up the back of our house. So I haven't heard them lately, but a month or two ago I could hear them. They sort of make this creepy grunting noise when they're competing with one another for the attention of the ladies. And they sound like a bunch of baboons in the backyard. So we've had them. We had a king parrot, a female king parrot visit us and landed right in front of us on the veranda, which was amazing. And there's kookaburras, and we have oh my goodness, blue-faced honeyeaters, that's the one. And they come to our jacaranda, which is behind me but out of camera. And we also have like lots of trees that flower in our yard. So just behind me there, it's starting to come on with flowers. They're red waxy flowers, reddy orange, is our flame tree. It's a native plant traditionally used by Aboriginal people to make string for fishing and I think tying things together, like different tools and things. And they also traditionally, there's these seed pods that are hairy, that have hairs that irritate your skin. But what they do is they burn them, roast them in the fire to get rid of all the hairs, and then they eat them like nuts. So I don't know what they probably taste really nice, but yeah, so that's interesting. I didn't know that before I identified the tree. I didn't really know about flame trees, so that's interesting. And we have 2 jacarandas and other native plants, plus we have a poinciana just off to that way. And it, in summertime, like late summer I think it is, it gets orangey red flowers. So we'll have red and orange flowers on that side and purple flowers on our jacaranda on the other side. So it's nice to have flowering trees. We also have some grevilleas, and they have like curly stamens all over them. I'll try and insert some pictures of our flowers. And yeah, and then we've actually bought a grevillea to put in the garden. Oops, which I will show you. It's to attract the birds, and they basically have those sorts of flowers. This one's called a honey gem, and it's like a honey golden colour, so that'll be really nice when it's flowering. Oh, and we've had to move a lot of our plants up onto the front veranda, including my blueberry tree, which has blueberries on at the moment. Not many, but it does have some, because Barry has been deplanting the plants out of their pots and taking the dirt and some of the plants for his mound. So it's like, thanks Barry. So we've brought them upstairs to try and minimise the collateral damage that he makes. Yeah, so that's pretty much our garden and our little animal friends. We also have a possum, Percy possum. Come on. Come on. No, not gonna come. He keeps his camera shy. He's our Brian butcherbird. Yeah? What are you gonna do? He's gonna talk. Oh, there he is. There's another one. There's a little friend. They might make their little call. Yeah, anyway, there you go. Sometimes they make a really pretty call, so who knows if they'll decide to join us, join me on camera with their call. That one sounds like a baby. I think it might be. Yeah, so anyway, I'm rambling. So you might have noticed, or may not have, I've got new glasses. So my prescription had changed. I had some eye trouble recently, so I went and had my eyes tested again. And so I got these new glasses. They're just for distance. And then I have some new reading glasses. I previously had bifocals, but I decided to separate. So that's my reading glasses. I really would love to be able to wear cat's eye glasses, but I don't have the right shaped face, unfortunately. So yeah, so that's my new glasses. And now I can see better. Okay, let's talk. What else did I have? Oh, it was my birthday recently, at the end of October, just before Halloween. So I had a really nice time. My mum gave me some money for my birthday, as well as the Harry Potter Night Bus Lego set. So I've already put that together. It's really cute. And Wayne bought me the Harry Potter Hagrid's Hut Lego set, which I'm in the process of putting together, but I haven't been able to do much on it lately because my eyes were so sore, because I get dry eyes as well, so it causes migraines. Yay! So anyway, so I had a really nice birthday, and then we had Halloween, and because this is the first time in our neighbourhood, I've never done Halloween before in my life, but I thought I would. It's a good way to meet neighbours and things. So I ended up being the popular house in the street because I didn't give just single lollies. I had, well, we call them lollies, they're candy. Yeah, so I made up party bags, cellophane bags with 3 items in: lollipops, candy jewellery, and like Cadbury chocolates. So they had 3 things in each bag, so the kids really loved that. So then the word got around that I was giving out like party bags, so I had like about over 20 children come up, which for Australia that's a lot of people, because normally we don't really celebrate Halloween much. It's becoming more popular, but it's not really a thing here. So anyway, all the kids were dressed up, little witches and goblins and all sorts of things. It was really cute. I dressed as a witch, and in the end my knee gave out on me, so I ended up tying a rope to my cauldron bucket that I had the lollies in, and I dropped it down for the kids over the balcony, which they thought was exciting. I can hear Barry walking around. It's kind of creepy sometimes because you forget he's there, and it sort of sounds like someone's walking around the yard. Yeah, so anyway, so that was good, Halloween. And then straight after Halloween the next day I got the Christmas decos out, and I want to enjoy Christmas for longer, so I put our Christmas tree up over the coming days, but I was a bit sick the other weekend, and didn't feel up to putting anything together. I got some sort of virus or something which gave me headaches and nausea, and I felt faint, so which wasn't fun. When the day it sort of come on was when I was going to the markets with Wayne's dad, just up the road. So those markets are the Sanford Christmas handmade Christmas markets, and they were really lovely. Had beautiful handmade ceramics, pottery, plants, jewellery, little crochet covered tea lights and all sorts of things. So I got a few Chrissy presents from there, even earrings made out of CDs, recycled. They're really cool. And Wayne that weekend went to Brisbane to Cairns doing a camper transfer, so he got me this really cool Cairns mug. It has all the towns that lead up to Cairns, and that's a cassowary. You never want to come across a cassowary, okay? If you're ever walking in the rainforest in northern Queensland, you need to be very careful if you come across a cassowary, because they will literally disembowel you like a bear. They're really scary buggers, and they're very territorial. They have big, massive dinosaur claws on their feet, and yeah, they can disembowel you. And apparently it's the most horrible way anyone can die. And yeah, lots of crocs up in northern Queensland, so don't go swimming unless you're sure that there's nothing there. um, yeah, so yeah. So anyway, so that was really nice of Wayne to get me a lovely mug. Oops, flies. I've got orange juice in it at the moment. It's kind of too hot for a cup of tea, which is bad when I say it's too hot for a cup of tea. At least a breeze has just started now, which is nice. So, what else? Oh, we recently, last weekend, Wayne's dad, parents came over, and Wayne's dad and Wayne went and hung up all the pictures that we had to hang up on the walls. So now it feels more like a home. And in my craft room, I got them to hang up my two little cross-stitch birds that my mum got me at the second-hand shop recently, which I showed on the last podcast of Flosstube. And also I've had this big sewing canvas picture that my friend gave me years ago, and I've been carting it around, but I always rented, years ago, and I could never hang it on the wall. And now I've finally got it on the wall in my craft room, so that's above my sewing table, so it feels really nice when I go in there and I've got things on the wall. And later on I'll put some of my cross stitch up there when I eventually get it framed. That's one thing. I recently I got money off Mum, and I went to go get a quote for getting my old white farmhouse sampler framed, but it was like over $300 for this little cross stitch. I don't think I even paid as much for my Nan's thing, which is in this massive big frame. So anyway, so I'm saving up to get that, so I've just put my birthday money aside, and I might get some quotes somewhere else, because that was in the city and it was quite exorbitant. Yeah, so now I've talked for long enough. Let's get into FOs. So I don't have any cross stitch FOs, but I'll just quickly show you one FO I finished the other night, which is the antler hat by Tin Can Knits on my antique hat maker's stand. And it's a lovely cable pattern done in Great Southern Yarn wool, which is alpaca, 100% alpaca from that I bought at Mulberry and Flax in Islington in Newcastle in New South Wales. And you can buy online from them, and they have really lovely local yarns like to New South Wales. And then I also got this yarn from them, which was left over, and it's South African yarn, and it's just merino wool. Not just, it's lovely merino wool. It's very soft. So I used that for the brim, but the brim's supposed to fold back. But when you do that, it doesn't really quite fit an adult, because the pattern was actually for Aran weight, and I did this in 8-ply double knit, and so on smaller needles, so it's ended up being quite a bit smaller. So yeah, so that's a shame, and I ran out of yarn at the end, so I had to add the grey back in. But I think I might give this to one of my great nephews, because it's a bit small for an adult male, and I'll make another hat for my friend. So yeah, anyway, that yarn is just really lovely and soft. I haven't blocked it yet, like washed it and blocked it. It might grow a bit, we'll see. But yeah, I really love this cable pattern that's in the thing. It was a little bit tricky doing the decreases, but otherwise it was an enjoyable knit. So yeah, so that's that one. And what else? That's it for the FOs. Also, I've started a pair of Julkveld mittens, which are Norwegian pattern by Ellie of Skandia Knits, and it's my first time doing colour work, and it's the worst ever wannabe Latvian braid, but isn't. It's so wonky, oh my god. But I want to show you, because even though I do really neat work on other projects, I'm still learning new techniques, and so sometimes when you're doing it, it takes a while before you get things perfected, so not everything's perfect. So I just wanted to share that with you. So this is what I'm learning, is colour work. So I don't know how much I'll do of this. I'm not really... I love the mittens, the pattern and everything, but I'm just not enjoying knitting it. I don't like the feel of the yarn. It's It's Jameson and Smith yarn, 100% Shetland wool from the Shetland Islands, but it is like proper sticky, scratchy wool, and that's probably why I don't like it as much. I'm sure when it's finished and washed it'll bloom and be beautiful, but yeah, just knitting with it, it's not as pleasant, especially in this heat. So I'm just doing the wrist bit, and then it's got this lovely Christmassy pattern with a Christmas tree on the mittens and all sorts of things, so that's really cute. So I'll see how I go. I might only just knit one as a decoration, like a Christmas deco. I did try casting on a sweater, but I don't have the right size cable for this pattern. This is Malabrigo Rios, and it's teal feather. So I am going to knit myself a sweater out of this, but it's a Hohi Locatelli pattern called Lemongrass. It's sort of like a poncho cardigan sweater. Anyway, I really like it, but I haven't been able to start it because I need to get a cable that's the right size for knitting in the round. Now on to cross stitch. You're all waiting for that and you're going, hurry up Lisa, cut to the chase. So I haven't really worked on my old Witch Mary, but I'll just show you just in case I didn't show last time. I can't remember where I was up to last time. What's up? It's Brian again, he's chatting. Or Betty, I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. So this is old Witch Mary. So basically I got bored with doing the witch. This was part of my stitch along for my birthday for Halloween. And then this is glow in the dark thread, which is a pain to stitch with. I think that might be all I do of that one, and then I'll just do normal DMC. But yeah, it's really nice fabric. I can't remember. Oh, it's Ale. Picture this plus Ale. But yeah, it's really nice fabric. So that's all I got up to with old Witch Mary, which, just in case you're a new viewer, is this pattern by Lila Studios. So hopefully I'll get back to that at some stage, but probably not till next year now, because Halloween's over and I'm into wanting to start some Christmassy stitching. So my other project that I've been working on is the Botany Bay sampler. So let me just put that behind. So I've actually done quite a bit of this stitch along here. It's like a chain, and then the letters here, and I also filled in the rest of this corner with the orange thread once I got the DMC from Spotlight. So that's coming along really nicely. I really love this fabric and the pattern. This is like a reproduction chart from a young girl who stitched this pattern when she was a young girl, and then she ended up coming to Australia, but it was her idea of what Botany Bay might look like. I'll just see if I've got the front cover anywhere here, just in case you're new and you haven't seen it. This is by Fox and Rabbit Designs, Botany Bay sampler. So that's it there. And I've just been working across the top corner here. So yeah, so that looks really, I really am enjoying stitching on this. So hopefully now that I've got my new glasses I can get back into stitching this, because I'm looking forward to getting down here into the fun motifs. So that'll be really good. So yeah, so that's Fox and Rabbit Designs. I don't know if I have the story here. Goodness gracious. Oh, okay. Stitched by Margaret Begbie, a 10-year-old girl from Scotland. The Australian colony established in 1788 stopped being referred to as Botany Bay around 1830, so this sampler is most likely dates from the late 1700s to the early 1800s. The sampler was inspired by her geography lessons and based off a painting or illustration. There are some other Scottish samplers with similar Botany Bay references. One was reproduced by the exemplar originally stitched by Euphemia Doig, which is dated 1814, and it's likely they were in the same class. So Margaret was sentenced to transportation to Van Diemen's Land, Tasmania, for 7 years by the Edinburgh Court of Judiciary or whatever, and arrived on the ship Lloyd's on the 7th of November 1845 with 169 other female convicts. So there is a chance that this was the same Margaret, and she eventually saw Botany Bay. Yeah, so it's a really lovely chart. I really love it, and I'm looking forward to getting it finished. It's going to be quite big when it's done, so that'll be good. So that's basically, I'm sorry that most of it was rambling, and that's basically all I've done stitching wise. So I'm sorry about that. What would I like to stitch on next? I'm thinking I think I've got some fabric, and I've got some just random coloured, Christmassy coloured threads, so I might start this one, which is the Christmas Row by Bent Creek, which I recently was gifted by Dawn Frosty Cross Stitch on Flosstube. So go and check her out. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to starting this alphabet pattern for Christmas, to get into the spirit of Christmas. I think I might do it in some sparkly, like, metallic threads as well, some of it. Maybe the bauble. So yeah, that looks really cool. So that's basically all I have to share with you. I want to do some baby knits because I have a new niece coming next year in January, but I might make her stuff for when it's winter time, when she's probably about 6 months, for next winter. But I haven't decided on a pattern yet, but I've been watching Hey Sister podcast, and if you want inspiration for knits or sewing patterns for babies and children, definitely recommend watching Hey Sister podcast, because they're obviously the sisters, and they have lots of children between them. So one of them's expecting a baby in the next couple of weeks, so they have lots of cute, really cute little patterns that make you just, you know, want to start them straight away. So yeah, so that's all I have for you today. I hope you're all well, and I just want to say hello to my niece Emma. She watches with her mum Lauren when she's working from home. So hello Emma and George. And I'm not sure if any of the other kids watch me, but Emma definitely does. So I wanted to say a special hello to Emma from Auntie Lisa. So thank you for watching. Oh, can you hear that? That's the cockatoos in the distance. I don't know if you can see. You might not be able to see them. Oh, they're all flying over the hills in the distance. Yeah, so anyway, so that's all for today. Thank you for tuning in, and hopefully it won't be so long between floss tubes again, and I'll have something up for you soon. I'll try and insert some pictures of the native plants in our garden, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye. There go the cockatoos. So that's our flame tree, and then over here we have our jacaranda. We've got 2 jacarandas, and that's where I just recorded from. And then we've got our plants up on the veranda, and that's the poinciana tree.